Hey guys, today I have What's for Breakfast Keto Edition. So I'm sharing with you two very good family favorites, good and savory keto recipes that you can make for breakfast for your family and for yourself and still stay on plan with keto. So if you're interested, stay tuned. First things first, let's preheat this oven to about 400 degrees. So we're preheating the oven to 400 degrees and we're gonna go start making our homemade biscuits for the biscuits and gravy. So let's do this. So let's talk ingredients for the biscuits. I got the oven preheated, so I'm gonna show you what we need. This is my first time making it. Mostly Leo really loves biscuits and gravy, and I know it's something that he misses being on keto, so I'm gonna try to make it keto. So anyways, we're gonna have 1 cup of almond flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. We're gonna have 3 egg whites, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of garlic, and a half a teaspoon of chili powder, and then this says 2 tablespoons of very cold butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing everything in. I have this, my mixing bowl, and then we're gonna go ahead once we mix the dough and make it like formation, or what, put it in formation. Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. Okay, anyways, we're gonna drop them in here and toss them in the oven. So let's start, we're gonna get a mix in. First things first, 1 cup of almond flour. All right, it says combine almond flour and baking soda. So we got we're gonna have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a stir. I should get one of those like little sifters. Okay, so now we're gonna add these spices. So we got the chili powder, the salt, and the garlic. And then it's a half a teaspoon of all of those. Okay, so it says to take the butter and cut it into the dough until it has a creamy consistency. Okay, I've never done this before, so bear with me. I don't have a dough cutter, so that's what they said to use, but we don't have one. So we need 2 tablespoons of that. It says to cut it up with 2 knives. I don't know what they're talking about here, so I'm just gonna kind of do like this, because they said to kind of combine it until it gets crumbly. I don't know. I don't know if this is like a technique that I just never heard of. Yo no say, my friends, but we gonna. I feel like there's an easier way to do this. I just gotta figure it out. Like, why couldn't I just like melt the butter first? Right? Oops. Maybe this is what makes it taste homemade. I don't know. So I see what they're saying. Like, you see how like I kind of smashed it up with a fork and it's making it crumbly? That's what they said. So I need to go ahead and get my egg whites, and then I'm gonna drop them in there, and they said to fold them in. But I just wanna make sure everything's kind of like crumbly. There's no big chunks. But I've never made like homemade biscuits before. I don't know if this is like how it's done. I usually just take like the log of them and do it, or like, you know, the Pillsbury. So, all right, let's get the egg whites. Okay, so they said to go ahead and whisk these egg whites until they're fluffy, because that's what's gonna make the biscuits light and airy. I don't know. I feel like this is a whole new life I've never lived before, but we gonna try. Go ahead and add little by little. That's how I'm gonna do it, at least. And then just kind of fold it in, they said. So if you guys have an ice cream scoop, you're gonna go ahead and use that to transfer them to the baking dish. I would use that, but God knows where mine is. You know, that's the joy, I guess, of being a mom. You never know where any of your stuff is. I don't know, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to look. Okay, so that is our baking mixture. Go ahead and just spray this cooking spray on here. If you guys have a better brand of one, you should probably, oh, would you look at that? It must have heard me talking about them. We got one. So, let's get to scraping this stuff out, shall we? Okay. And then I'm just going to drop them in here. $3.69. Okay, so it says 8 muffins. I made 9. So I am actually on track here. Not too bad. So let's put them. They say bake them for 10 to 15 minutes until biscuits start to get golden brown or on top. So let's put these in the oven. I'm going to set a timer for about 15 minutes. This oven, I feel like, doesn't get as hot. Like, it takes it a little bit longer. So we got a timer going for 15 minutes. We're gonna start on our gravy. Starting on our gravy portion, first things first is we're gonna cook up some sausage. I'm using this pork sausage. I get this one from Aldi. It's like less than $2. It's really good. Pork sausage, you can do whatever you want. Chicken sausage, whatever. We just like this one. So I'm gonna brown this up first, and then I'm gonna take the meat out of this pan and I'm gonna set it aside, and then we're gonna add it back in once we make the rest of our ingredients. So while this is browning up, let me show you what's gonna go into the actual gravy. We are going to use some heavy cream. I believe this is, yeah, so I have the ingredient list right here. A half a cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of chicken broth or chicken stock. I'm gonna use the broth because that's what I have. 4 ounces of cream cheese, and then a little salt and pepper. That's it, and then the breakfast sausage. So we're gonna cook this down, like I said, and then we're gonna wait till it's finished. We're gonna remove it from the heat, but we're gonna keep all like the grease bits in there. So the meat is done. I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop out the sausage and just reserve it for after I make our gravy. It smells really good in here. The biscuits have about another 3 minutes, so it'll be just in time. We'll let them cool a little bit, and then we will top it. I'm very excited. So this is gonna be one of the options for our breakfast, like keto what's for breakfast video today. I hope you guys like it. I'm not worried about all the little pieces. So first we're gonna add in our cream cheese now that our meat is out of the pot. And we're gonna add in our heavy cream. Whisking it together so it will melt. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be really good. Anything with cream cheese is really good. Ooh, that looks good. I think, I don't know, let's pull these out real quick and see. But I think I'd rather give them a few more minutes because you want them to be crispy. Maybe like another few more minutes. I would say like another 2-3 minutes. 3 minutes for the timer. So, because I want them real like brown and toasted. So they did say, I want to let you guys know, if this gravy is not thick enough for you guys and you prefer it to be, you know, on the thicker side, you could add that xanthan gum or whatever it's called. I don't own it, and I wasn't gonna buy it just for one recipe. I do find that a lot of these recipes I do find for keto, they do call for some rather expensive ingredients, and I just omit them, guys, because I'm not trying to break my bank. You know, That's the one thing I try to do with these recipes, is to make them as budget friendly as possible. Get that piece of cream cheese out of there. So if you notice that some recipes you want to try on Pinterest or the internet, you're like, man, it calls for this or that, try to just customize them to fit your budget, because that's what I do. Because like I said, I know, I see you guys, I'm you know, running the same hurdles you guys are on the daily with trying to feed a family and not break the bank and, you know, stay low carb and all such things. So just, you know, like I said, make it your own. All right, this is about done. So let's add in our chicken stock. I'm gonna add a half a cup at a time, slowly, because you want to whisk it in, they say. So here's a half. I'm just kind of putting a half a cup in here. We're still gonna season it with our salt and pepper. Here are our biscuits, looking real good. I'm gonna let them just sit right here and cool. I'm gonna go ahead and add back in our meat. I'm not going to add any salt to this, just because I feel like this pork sausage is generally a little bit salty, and I feel like if you over salt this meal, you can ruin it. I'm just going to shake in some pepper, because I like a lot of pepper with my gravy, like with my biscuits and gravy. So does Leo. And like I said, this breakfast sausage is rather salty. So this whole meal, homemade biscuits and gravy, keto homemade biscuits and gravy, takes about 30 minutes. So you cannot beat that. So you could still have a family favorite, you know, and stay on plan. And the whole family could eat it as well. So they won't even notice the difference. No one's missing out on anything. So let me let this sit, let this cook for a few minutes, and then I will come back and show you when it thickens. So here are the biscuits. I'm gonna kind of just grab one. They're pretty thick. They're pretty fluffy too, so I'm just kind of squeezing them. I mean, I guess my family don't care if I touch their food, but. So there's a plate of biscuits. Leo had one, he says it was good. And here are the, here's the gravy. Honestly, I kind of wish I had the, that xanthan gum or whatever, because I would like for this to be a little bit thicker, but I tried it and it's pretty tasty. So, I mean, cream cheese and heavy whipping cream with pork sausage, can't go wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate this up, and we're gonna let Leo try it and we'll see how it goes. So here is Leo's. Like I said, it could be a little bit thicker, but I'm gonna have him try it and let him see what he thinks, but it smells really, really good. So let me get him over here. What do you think?
That's good.
It's good? Does it taste like it's too little too watery, right?
It's a little runny, but the flavor's pretty spot on.
Yeah. All right, well, there you have it. There is meal idea number 1. So maybe spring for that xanthan gum or whatever it is, just to kind of thicken it up. But it's, he said it's spot on. So, all right, so here is one of our breakfast options. And next up, we have a keto French toast casserole. Starting on the fathead bread, because that's what's we're gonna use as our bread. First things first is we're gonna take 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. This is fresh shredded mozzarella cheese. And we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. If you guys have never made fathead bread before, it's so good. We usually do it for pizza. So we're gonna throw this in the microwave. You could heat this in a pan, but I don't do that. I just put it in the microwave for about, I don't know, a minute or so, just until everything starts to melt and you can mix it all together. So let's go ahead, we'll throw this in the microwave, and then we'll see how long it takes. So here it's starting to melt, okay? So we can go ahead and mix all the cheeses together, because this is gonna be our dough, okay? All right, I'm mixing everything together. Like I said, this cheese is what's gonna become our dough. All right, so I wanna make sure the cheese and everything is mixed So there's no chunks of like pure cream cheese. Okay. And now we're gonna start adding in all of our other stuff. So we're gonna take some almond flour, a half a cup. We're gonna take some coconut flour. I know you guys, I get so many questions about coconut flour. So here's a recipe I'm using that I'm finally using it in. So we got some 1/4 of a cup of coconut flour. We got some baking powder. We're gonna use a teaspoon of baking powder. Two tablespoons of melted butter, and then we're gonna crack in 2 eggs. And we're gonna mix everything together. Our oven is preheated and ready. I hope you guys like these recipes. I know they're a little something different. And I don't know, I just thought they would be kind of fun to make for your family. A little out of the ordinary of the same old, you know, breakfast eggs and bacon and sausage, you know. Maybe some, you know, like family favorites maybe you guys have or something along those lines. Some good comfort food. I know it's going to start cooling off pretty soon, and we don't really do a lot of baking in the house during the summer, but I love to use my oven in the mornings, like especially for my kids, you know, have them a nice warm breakfast to wake up to on Sundays with my family. It's kind of my favorite thing to do. And I'm sure you guys like to do it too, so. And then you could sit down and actually eat with them and not watch, so. Okay. So here is our dough. You can see it's very, very doughy, but it's also very sticky. So I'm gonna give you a little trick. But first we're gonna need is a flat baking sheet and some parchment paper. So let's get that. Okay, here's our parchment paper. We're gonna dump our dough onto it. I wet my hands, okay? This dough works well with wet hands. We're gonna take another piece of parchment paper and put it on top. And this is how we're gonna spread out our dough, okay? Wish I had a roller, I think. I'm just gonna use one of these cups and just roll it out because I want it to be kind of long, you know? If you had a smaller rolling pin, that would probably work out swell, but you know, I'm sure I have a rolling pin somewhere. I just gotta look for it. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my fork and I'm just gonna hit holes in it so it makes it rise a little bit thicker. And we throw this in the oven, I believe, for about 10 minutes. Before we go ahead and toss this in the oven, I wanna go and kind of brush it with a little bit of butter. So here's a little bit of melted butter. If you guys have one of those like fancy brushes, it would probably be really great, but I don't know where mine is. I know we have one, I just don't know where it is. So just so it gets it buttery, it's gonna get real crispy, okay? So let's just spread that around, okay? That's going all around. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of, this is the monk fruit sweetener. You guys can see here. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it on the top. So you can use whatever, if you have Swerve, I think this is Lakanto. Yeah, it's this brand. Ooh, I don't know if you guys can see. It's this Lakanto brand. So that's what we're using. I just put it in one of the little holders here. So the bread's sweet. The recipe does require 2. We're gonna use half on the bread and then half in the mix. And then I'm gonna take some cinnamon and then just kind kind of sprinkle it. So into the oven it goes for 8 to 10 minutes, okay? So here is our dough here. Keep the oven on because once we cut this up, the casserole is gonna go back into the oven for about a half an hour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this up, but you see how it's like real bubbly and airy like that? It's from poking the holes in it, that's what it did. So we're gonna lift this actually up and we're gonna put it on the counter. I'm gonna take a little pizza cutter and I'm just gonna go through and cut them. That was on a wrong, crooked. You know, this is the first time I've made the fathead dough using these ingredients. Usually it's just like almond flour, cream cheese, and mozzarella, and I actually think I prefer it this way because I found, yeah, see, with the other one, when I was using it without the like the almond flour and the coconut flour and all that stuff, like it was real sticky. Like my dough always stuck and I was always fighting with it. So let me get our casserole dish. So I'm just using a regular casserole dish. I am gonna go ahead and spray it down just because, you know, I always spray down my casserole dishes just so nothing sticks. And I'm probably just gonna run my pizza cutter through those. Some of the pieces looked a little too big. So I'm just gonna lift them up and I'm gonna line my casserole dish with these. Oh yeah, because even the bottom, let me show you how the bottom looks pretty good too. So we're gonna line the bottom of it. I'm so excited for my family to eat this. It's a little warm to the touch, but it's good. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, I'm gonna try this. Oh man, that's delicious. So right in here, I have 6 eggs. I'm gonna take some heavy whipping cream, 1/4 cup of that. I'm gonna toss that in there. Okay. If you guys had that xanthan gum, you would use it, but again, I don't have it. These are 2 tablespoons of melted butter. This was not called for, but this is vanilla extract. Growing up, my mom, when she made French toast, always put a little vanilla extract in everything, so I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla extract in there because that's how Mama raised me. So we're gonna mix this all up. Mix it all up here. So we have our casserole. We're gonna go ahead and just dump this mixture over the top of it. So this is how it's starting to look, okay? Beautiful, beautiful. So we're gonna get some cinnamon. We're gonna top it with some cinnamon and 1 more tablespoon of sugar. Beautiful, doesn't that look gorgeous? Absolutely perfect. This is gonna be awesome for the upcoming holiday season too, guys. And like batch cooking, amazing. So, all right, I'm gonna toss this in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes, just until everything is cooked through and golden, and then we'll be back. So the first time I took this out of the oven, guys, I went and it looked like it was done. I did it for the 20 minutes, and then I went ahead and stuck my spatula in it to cut it, and the egg came up, so it wasn't finished. So I ended up cooking it for about 30 minutes, but it looks really, really good. It's nice and fluffy, so let's cut into it and see what it looks like. Ooh, look at that. All right, so you guys can see on the inside, it's really fluffy. I'm so excited. Okay, this looks really, really good. And we're gonna go ahead and use the CHOCZERO maple syrup. This is by far my favorite maple syrup. I do have a discount code. I am an affiliate with them, just so you guys know. I'm not gonna like lie to kick it, but this stuff is like very, very good, and it's like very thick, so a little bit goes a long way. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that on there. I'm gonna put a little bit. I got Leo helping me out today. Are you excited? It smells good, huh? Okay, taste test time. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Does it taste like legit? All right. How much? Can I try a piece? He doesn't like, if he doesn't like to share his bites, that means it's good. All right, so I'm gonna take a bite. Oh damn, that's good. I could have used a little bit more vanilla in there. I went ahead and used, let's talk about some of the things I substituted. They did ask for powdered sugar. I did not use any because I didn't have it, and I used what I had on hand. And then I also did add that vanilla. I probably would add 2 tablespoons to make it a little bit more sweet, because that's how I like my French toast. But honestly, this is a really great option, and it was really easy, and yeah, it's definitely be really great. I definitely am going to be making this a lot this year. So if you guys like these breakfast ideas, please do not forget to subscribe, like this video, and let me know if you're going to try either one of them down below. I will try to link everything down below so you guys can go ahead and recreate it for yourselves and your family at home. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will check in with you on the next one. Take it easy, friends.